Domestic violence is described as an act of violence against a family member or friends.
Attackers can use abuse on their family members because of the fact that they want to gain power and control.
Do you know every 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in their life?
And usually when the husband hurts his wife, he will hurt his children too. If a boy witnesses domestic violence, he is twice as likely to do the same thing to his own wife and their children.
They can use physical abuse, which is punching, hitting, or kicking, or emotional abuse, which can be constant criticism, threats, or yelling all the time. And they can use psychological abuse, which can make you have anxiety, depression, or post-traumatic stress disorder.
They can also use economical abuse, which in the relationship, the attacker controls all the money the other person has. So they have to depend on the attacker for money.
And another big problem is sexual abuse.
Well, first, this is a graph of domestic violence, and you can see how it's grown since 2008. And another big problem is sexual abuse. Sexual abuse can happen to anyone, male or female, but usually females under the age of 24 are the most likely to experience sexual abuse.
Every 1 in 3 girls will experience sexual abuse by the time they are 18.
Most of the time, victims of sexual assault will know their attacker, and it is usually a family member. Occasionally, the attacker will be a stranger to the victim.
An organization that we found that helps with domestic violence is a graph
of the percentage of people that get sexually, like the attackers, and this is the percentage of who the attacker is, and you can see that only 10% come from a stranger.
And we found CTW Friends of the Family, which helps both domestic violence abuse victims and sexual abuse victims.
And it is located in Waverly.
They have shelters for women and children that have been victims of domestic violence, and they provide helpful information like how to get out of an abusive relationship without getting hurt.
What we want to do is we want to help the families that have victims of these crimes by bringing toys to the kids and the shelter of Cedar Valley Friends to the family.
We want to do this because kids need something that will help them get their mind off of it and comfort them right after they've gotten out of a bad situation.
You guys can help by bringing gently used toys, stuffed animals, or books that you don't use anymore to the cubbies out by the cafeteria. And to the side of it is a donate toys box, and you can bring those toys between the next 2 weeks.
And then at the end of every week, we are going to take all the toys from the box and bring them to Cedar Valley Friends of the Family.
And you can make somebody's day just by bringing in stuffed animals. And I'm sure you guys have stuffed animals that you don't use anymore. So if you guys fill those boxes,
do you have any questions?
Where was the deadline for the toys is May 21st, so next 2 weeks. Brendan?
Why do you predominantly think that girls are more victims
Well, the question was why do girls get more predominantly sexually assaulted, and that's just the statistics, and that's what it is. It is what it is. It's just statistics. Can't change.
So when you said that fathers just abuse their mothers, and they usually abuse children too, did you say that's always true?
No, that's just sometimes. They're just more likely to abuse their wife and children. Thank you for listening.
All right.